Since its construction in 1930, the Omni Shoreham Hotel has served as a central hub for Washington, D.C. high society. It was designed as a majestic landmark for the nation's capital, opening its doors to 5,000 guests at the height of the Great Depression. The hotel's pedigree is cemented in its guest list, having hosted the inaugural balls of every president from Franklin D. Roosevelt to Bill Clinton. Its stages have seen performances from legends like Aretha Franklin, Judy Garland, and the Beatles. Yet behind this carefully maintained image of prestige, the hotel hides a recurring problem on its 8th floor, a secret kept well away from the cameras of the Blue Room. This is Suite 870. It remains the only room in the hotel that the public cannot book through the regular reservation system, identified to those who pass it only by a small plaque reading "The Ghost Suite." The suite's reputation relies on the testimony of the hotel's own staff. Executives, security directors, and chief engineers describe experiences that defy professional logic, turning a luxury penthouse into a source of genuine concern for the hotel's leadership. Shortly after opening, a wealthy shareholder named Henry Doherty moved his family into the 8th floor apartment. Living with them was the family's executive housekeeper, Juliet Brown. Early one morning, around 4 a.m., Juliet woke up feeling suddenly ill. She reached for the telephone to call for a doctor, but she never managed to complete the dial. A hotel engineer discovered her several hours later. He noticed a phone line registering as off the hook and went to investigate the suite. The engineer found Juliet dead on the floor. The telephone receiver was still dangling from the cradle, hanging just inches from her hand. Local folklore often claims the Doherty daughter also died in the suite of an overdose, but genealogical records prove this never happened. She actually died decades later in Denmark. Juliet Brown remains the only person known to have died in Suite 870. This single, verifiable tragedy anchors the room's history. The specific timing and nature of Juliet's death align with the bizarre accounts that would eventually force the hotel to close the room for good. When the Dohertys moved out in 1973, the hotel didn't put the suite back on the market. They sealed it off entirely, using the 3-bedroom apartment as a storage space for old furniture and paintings. Despite being locked and empty, neighbor complaints arrived at the front desk constantly. Guests reported loud conversations, furniture dragging across the floor, and vacuum cleaners running at night. During a renovation attempt in 1997, the room's history grew darker when a construction worker fell to his death from the suite's balcony. Once the renovation was complete, the activity shifted. The disturbances were no longer just muffled noises heard by neighbors. They became direct, face-to-face encounters within the room itself. Locking the room away for 50 years did nothing to suppress the activity. Instead, it seems to have preserved the phenomena for a new generation of staff to witness. What distinguishes the Shoreham's haunting is the quality of the witnesses. These are not anonymous reports from the internet, but on-the-record statements from named, long-term employees. The hotel's chief engineer whiz-opened the secure suite to find every single dresser drawer and cabinet door pulled wide open. He locked the room to find a witness, but when he returned moments later, every drawer had been pushed closed. The director of security reported several sightings of an older woman in a long white dress walking the 8th floor hallway. He watched her step into an elevator on multiple occasions, only to find the car empty when the doors opened. The former general manager reported a mechanical anomaly while staying in the suite with his family. His daughter insisted someone was in the closet, a space wired with a motion sensor that only triggers if something enters its detection field. While they sat still watching the closed door, the light inside turned on, then shut off. Engineers later checked the wiring and found no faults. A skeptical journalist investigating the room also reported unexplained floor creaks at 4 a.m. As he prepared to leave at dawn, he discovered the dining room lamps turned themselves on while he was out on the terrace. When high-level executives and skeptics report identical, unexplainable physical events, the haunting becomes a documented mystery that the hotel can no longer ignore. After the 1997 renovation, the Omni Shoreham attempted to market Suite 870 as a high-end luxury attraction. They eventually realized most guests were simply too uncomfortable to spend the night in the space. Today, the Ghost Suite is a permanent operational anomaly. It is reserved only for overflow, VIPs, or the rare visitor who specifically requests to stay in the most haunted room in the city. The evidence remains remarkably consistent across different decades. While the staff members change, the core reports of furniture moving and activity peaking at 4 a.m. have not varied since the 1930s. The case for Suite 870 relies on this archive of identical reports from employees who have no professional incentive to manufacture them. They are reporting what they see, regardless of whether it fits a rational explanation. After nearly a century, the accounts from the 8th floor remain static. The enduring reality of the ghost suite is that after 90 years, the stories haven't changed, and the hotel cannot explain them.